one of the joys of my job as the apiarist here is training new beekeepers. For our first year class, we have some of the best students I could ask for. Very passionate and concerned and interested in bees. And it's going to take people like them who develop knowledge, have curiosity and questions about bees, but it's going to take more than that too. I want to bring up our next speaker, and I'm looking to see if she has left the room.
She's right here.
Oh. Our next speaker is Emily DePuy. She is, and I want you to keep this in mind, she is 13 years old. Okay? When I started beekeeping, I think I grafted my first successful queen when I was 26 or 27 years old, maybe even a little bit older. Emily, who's 13, has been grafting queens for 2 years already. She's in her second year of grafting queens. She's going to show you some amazing stuff. This is why we need young people to become interested and involved in beekeeping. Because I started late. I started in my mid-20s keeping bees. I'm not going to solve these problems. But when you see what Emily here has to say, this is the future. These are the people that are going to solve the problem. Let me just turn it over to Emily, and I'll let her and what she's doing speak for herself.
So, I'm Emily. I'm with K&J Farms. They are right outside. And I'm going to be talking about honeybee queens and grafting. What is grafting? Grafting is the process of transferring freshly hatched larvae from a worker cell to a man-made queen cell. These queen cells are made from plastic, wood, or beeswax. Me and my dad used plastic better. The grafted cells are then placed in queenless hives flooded with nurse bees. Ideally, there is no more than 24 to 36-hour-old larvae. The size of the larva is about half the size of grain rice. The natural instinct in the hive is that the worker bees and drones are made horizontally and the queens are made vertically. The day-old larva, why it is used. The younger the larva, the more time it has to eat royal jelly. This allows the larva to fully develop into a larger, healthier queen. An older larva allows a queen to be hatched ahead of schedule. This queen could go around and kill all of the other unhatched queens. Okay. So notice there's 2 eggs in that one cell. So this would be a good example of one to graft from. That would be another good example. All these are way too big to graft from. You can usually tell how old the eggs are because if they're a day old, they'll be standing straight up like this. 2 days, they'll be about like this. 3 days, they'll be laying straight down. And then they turn into the larva. Okay, so there's a picture of me grafting. We use the Chinese grafting tools. And there's the plastic queen cell cups. We use headlamps so that way you're not holding the flashlight and the tool. It's easier and you don't have to keep moving the flashlight every time. So we use, this is a frame holder. It holds it at, as you can see, it holds it upside down. It holds it at a specific angle so you can see better into it and you can get the larva out easier. Creating the queen. Once grafted and accepted by the nurse bees, the queen larva is fed large amounts of royal jelly. Royal jelly is a secretion from a gland of the nurse bee's head. In order to be able to produce royal jelly, the nurse bees need a large amount of pollen and honey. The new queen is continuously fed and the cell is drawn. 7.5 days from the egg being laid, the queen cell is capped. So notice the amount of royal jelly that's in here. That is completely full. That's going to be a healthy queen. So is that one, completely full. This one is starting to run low because you can see the little gap in between there. It looks like they started to cap this one, but just stopped working on it. You can kind of see into that one, running a little low. Can't see into that one, there's bees in the way. That one's starting to run low. can't really see into that one. Well, you can and you can. But notice the amount of royal jelly that's in there. When the queen hatches. From egg to hatch, a queen takes 16 days. Queens make orientation flights in 2 to 3 days after hatching. After 5 to 7 days, queens begin mating flights. Mating flights can last multiple days and mate with 15 or more drones. Once successfully mated, the queen will never mate again. She will lay 1,500 to 2,000 eggs a day during spring and summer buildup. Here's our queen. This is my queen. She's actually outside with K&J Farms right now. She's in the observation hive. So she's healthy. She's the only one that made it out of our first round of grafting. So she's the only one that survived so far out of our first round. Why I enjoy grafting. The science and biology of the honeybees. Creating a special life that is important to the hive survival. Great way to make money that's easier than babysitting. Get to meet lots of great and interesting people. Spending time with my dad. And being 13, I'm the only one of my friends that know what grafting is about or what it even means. Downfalls of grafting at 13. Most people don't take you seriously unless they hang around and listen till you talk about it. We take our observation hive to the Tiffin flea market with us. And I'm usually in charge of it to point out the queen and where she's going and what she's doing. And they'll stand and listen to you talk, but as soon as they walk away, they don't listen. They'll just forget everything that they were trying to be told. So they don't listen to me, but I know what I'm talking about. So not many peers you can talk to about doing what you do. Grafting only lasts about 4 months a year. An exciting time to be a young beekeeper. Despite honeybee issues, research is progressing to help. The creation of HHBBC, the creation of Buckeye Queen producers, amount availability mentors who are here to help and are excited to help young beekeepers. Sustainable beekeeping is the new norm. An exciting time to be a young beekeeper. There is lots of programs out there for young beekeepers, getting them into it. You can get nukes from a lot of different places, and there is tons of different programs. There's 4-H programs, FFA programs, and Boy Scout programs do bee stuff too. And when in our group, we have other young beekeepers my age, and it's cool to go over and see what they're doing and then they'll come over and see what I'm doing, and we compare to see which solution works best. People I'd like to say thanks to: my Papa Tom, Uncle Randy, my mom and dad, Denny Lamb, Delaware Wells, Steve Horton, Stratford Ecological Society, and a special thanks to Dave Nobles for letting me be here and give you this presentation.